3 non-negotiable movements that every athlete should do, even teenage athletes. It is 100% safe for teenagers to lift weights and to get strong. So when down in Louisville with Airwaav, who by the way is having a Black Friday sale if you're watching this video in a timely way, I talked to a bunch of football kids. These were 16 years old, a lot of them with the ambition to go to D1, NFL, all of those great, lovely feelings we have when we're 16 years old. I broke down for them the squat, the deadlift, and the overhead press, the ways in which they should do them to be the best athletes, how to do them safely, how to progress them, all that good stuff. So enjoy the video, and if you look closely, maybe you'll see some of these guys at the top level in a few years' time. Well, let's start with deadlifts. Everyone likes a deadlift. So it's actually not technique that's going to protect your back. It's actually core bracing. So have you guys talked about core bracing at all and what that's like? Anyone know what I'm talking about? No? Okay. Put one hand on your sternum, one hand on your stomach. Take big breaths in and use only your stomach to move in and out. You need to give yourself that pregnant belly as much as you can. Reason being, when we go to lift, we've got 3 layers of protection before we hurt our low back. We've got our intra-abdominal pressure, which is breathing into the stomach and then squeezing your stomach nice and hard. Then we've got our spinal erectors, which are the big muscles that run up and down our spine. If those don't go well, then the soft tissues of our back, which are the ligaments and the discs, and that's when you can get hurt. Okay, so you guys got to practice a lot breathing into your stomach, squeezing your stomach really hard, and then when you lift this off the ground, you don't breathe. Okay, so you walk up to the bar normally, your hands go just outside your shins, then here, you're going to take that big breath into your stomach, and for me, I think about pushing my stomach into my thighs. I'm going to hold my breath, and when I'm here, this is when I breathe again. So breathe into my stomach again. All right? Simple as that. And that is going to protect your back more than any technical change. Okay? The one thing you guys said was chest up, and we don't want to deadlift like we power clean. So when you power clean, we do want chest up. We want to stay nice and extended, but you actually want to make sure when you deadlift that your shoulders are forward. Okay, and our chest doesn't have to be up. You can be like this. Okay, it really depends on the length of your femurs. For me, if I were to try to sit down into a deadlift and keep my chest up, my shoulders are behind the bar, and as soon as I go to put effort in, I'm going to dump forward, and then I'm going to lift up. So when you're moving, the best way to evaluate each other is when you lift, do you change position before the bar comes off the ground? Okay, if you don't, you're doing well. If you do, start yourself in that position that you move to and deadlift from there. And that could be all the way up here. That's fine. It could be here. And anywhere in between is fine as well. All right. Let's move to, we'll go to overhead press. Well, let's talk, okay, in any team sport, let's say football or basketball. Okay, if we're ever, and we all get locked against someone at some stage, right? And if we think we're comparing a bench press to an overhead press, how successful are you going to be if you're locked here? You're going to be put on your ass pretty quick, yeah? So almost always we're in this position, okay? And that is overhead, the more you're leaning on a guy, yeah? Even if you're a receiver and you're trying to get around, you're still going to have an element of that arm up over your head. So bench press, almost too general to even pay off. Overhead press, much, much better. This bar is going to start somewhere between your chin and your chest. And let's just go no jumping, no triple extension, just a strict overhead press. You want to make sure that you're not leaning all the way back, okay? We don't want to be back here, right? So you're going to squeeze your butt, and from here, shoulders stay over your hips. You're going to watch this bar all the way up. Okay, reason being, if you look forward, your chest points down, and it's hard to bring that back over your head. Okay, so 2 tips here. Squeeze your butt. Watch that bar all the way up to the ceiling. Okay, next one is our shoulders. If anyone tells you your shoulders should be back and down. Yeah, who's heard that in the weight room before? Not really? Cool. When this goes elbows passes the shoulder, you want that shoulder to come up to your ear. Okay, that's when you're going to be most stable. Same thing if you're fighting a guy, pressing against him. We need that engaged to be nice and strong up over our head. Okay, so important quality to train. Let's change gears a bit. We're going to go squatting. Who reckons they're the best squatter here? Let's do a bit of a critique. You a good squatter?
Yeah.
What's your best squat?
Well, I don't know. I haven't maxed that in forever.
Give me an idea.
Maybe 405 plus.
405 plus. All right, let's have a look, and we are going to critique your squat. All right. Okay, you're going to get a bit of a workout here. Now, we're going to watch your feet, okay? The reason you're such a good squatter is that your ankles are really, really mobile. So a lot of people, when they squat and they get stuck, and you're about here, your ankles have nowhere left to go. Okay, so your name? Christian. Christian's got really, really good ankles, so he can stay really upright, he can push forward, and his femurs are pretty short. Okay, but I can't squat like that, and a lot of taller dudes will never be able to squat like that. Yeah? But you can squat all the way down without your ankles having any range of motion at all, because our knees can either go forward or our hips can go back. And those are the two ways we can squat. And frankly, building hip strength is going to be better than building knee strength when it comes to contact team sports. Okay, who's the worst squatter here? Who has the most difficulty properly squatting? Yeah? Probably. The tallest dude usually. Come out here and just go back to back and go into a squat down to parallel. Not like exactly back to back. You won't be able to squat. Okay, go down to the bottom of your squat. Okay, now pause there. Look at the difference in the length of their upper leg from their hip to their knee. Okay, so as much as, sorry, remind me your name? Travis. As much as Travis looks like a bad squat, there's no way he's ever going to be able to squat like Christian because his femur is just so much longer. Our knees, they either move forward or they move to the side. Now, if you can force your knees to the side more, what happens to the distance between my knee and my hip, in your guys' perspective, when I move my knee out to the side? Okay, that distance goes from that far to that far. So the more that you can get your knee moving out, the better off you're going to be able to squat. Okay, so let's go here and focus that if you were squatting and your feet were in sand, you'd slide completely, thank you, completely out to the side. So instead of squatting like this, think about squatting like this. Almost like your hips are dropping down between your knees. Feel like your groin stretches. Okay, good. Now just look up there. Okay, much, much better. Now, butt wink, okay? Butt wink, do you guys know what I'm talking about when I say butt wink? No? Turn to the side and squat all the way down. You'll see a point where his butt is pointing back towards me, and then all of a sudden it tucks down towards the ground. Okay, do you guys see that? Okay, so what happens, that's all good. Thank you, Travis. What happens is your pelvis is sitting here and our leg goes into our pelvis. There's a ball and there's a hole that that ball goes into. When you go into flexion to squat, eventually the backside of the ball is going to hit the ring of where it goes. When it does, your pelvis now moves down and under you. Okay, so it's not necessarily a bad thing, but if your pelvis moves under, then your back is also going to round at the bottom. And so if you're watching each other, you want to see that spot, and you're going to cut it just short of that spot. And whether you put a box there or you just give a bit of awareness around how deep to go, not everyone needs to go as deep as Christian. Yeah? If you think athletic ranges of motion, you're basically going to be from here to about here. Otherwise, you don't do a whole lot. Okay? And that's not anywhere near all the way down. Okay, so it's another thing where out of season, very useful to squat as low as you can. But in season, you're going to raise that squat up a bit, save yourself a bit of energy, and use that to translate better. Okay, now important to realize where that butt wink bit happens, that's how your hips are built. So don't try to train as though you're not going to do that anymore. It's just going to be based on your foot stance, your toe angle, and how your hips are built. The reason I'm in Louisville is because I work with Airwaav, which is a mouthpiece sponsor. This is what I started using when I won the Arnolds and when I won World's Strongest Man. And so these guys are mouthpieces that go on the bottom for you to use in the weight room, okay? Immediately, it's going to bring your muscles close to the threshold. You're going to be able to get a little bit more out of your workouts. You're going to be able to train a little bit harder for it. So I've got these guys to give away to you. What do we have? 3, 6,
There's more.
12. Oh, cool. Reckon there's enough for everyone? Yeah, awesome. Cool. Grab one of these guys.
All right. Hey, Mitch has been great, man. Appreciate it. Hey, let's give a round of applause here for Mitch and his crew. Hey, one thing, I have no pride, man. I will gladly admit that I learned some stuff today, some things to do differently. The squat, the main thing when I was in school, we always squatted with our toes forward. So it's great to learn that that's okay, especially if you're taller, got some stiffer hips and ankles. So that's good stuff. This is awesome. You got something that no one else has right now. Okay. What we'll do is you guys have what, five-ish minutes left, 5-10 minutes. Like I said, we'll just take some pictures. We did get pizza up here, guys, so let's not overwhelm both stations. A couple guys getting pictures, a couple guys getting pizza, and then kind of flip around a little bit. And make sure you thank Mitchell for being here today. Again, awesome stuff, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.